work. There's a Dr. Joanne Cacciatore out in Arizona, University of Arizona professor. She actually wrote the book Bearing the Unbearable. And she created a care farm with rescue animals and help families, going through traumatic bereavement, whether it's the loss of a child, accident, death, suicide, sudden tragic deaths, and so she is very has a very mindful background in sort of Buddhism and yoga, and she's like a research academic.
Wow.
So she's been on Oprah, she's been on the national platform, but that trauma,
Oh yeah.
and how it gets untreated, and how addiction is just there's a natural pathway for people to go down.
Yeah, because you think about that, right? One of the things we talk about a lot in Y12SR is particularly in I live in Western culture, so this is what I'm in. The programming that has come, right? We're all programmed, right? Yeah. So this is the programming that I've received just living in this culture. We are so geared toward relief that we don't understand the distinction between, there's this collapse in the distinction between relief and resolve, right? And so when the relief gets to be a problem because we have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And there's we're so busy in the relief that we don't get to the underlying thing, the resolve. Yeah. And I love Gabor's work. I've done a little bit. Gabor asked me to be as a part of one of his things, the big online things that he has done. And I love and adore Gabor's work. And I would say, if he didn't say 99, I would say at least 99% chance, right? And my study and work with this has come from Dr. Peter Levine, right? Yeah. And so my background in this is from the work of Somatic Experiencing. And I love the way he talks about it. He gave this definition of trauma that helped me to make this deep link between trauma and addiction and yoga, right? And it's like trauma is anything that lies in our body, in our being. When I say body, because he talks about it this way, he says anything that's unresolved, really, or incomplete, right? That stays within our body, that can cause damage. And this is what he said: at a biological, physiological, mental, emotional level, right? And so I read that definition, right? And I looked at that and I'm like, well, damn, he's describing what the yogis speak of as the five bodies. It was a different way to speak of the five bodies. And then he says in there, anything that's unresolved or incomplete or undigested that lies across those five bodies in that state of incomplete or anything. And that is, the other thing I've been doing, by the way, right, I've gotten deep into Ayurveda.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, really deep into Ayurveda. So Ayurveda describes that as ama, right? Ama is anything that lies undigested, unresolved, incomplete across our five bodies. And that was the definition that Peter was using for trauma, right? It's like trauma and ama are really basically the same thing. And when that sunk in at that deep level, it was just another one of those connectors that's it. And then you think about what yoga means, right? It's integration, it's balance, it's wholeness. Well, addiction's the opposite, right?
Disconnection.
And separation and misalignment. And that's what addiction is, right? Yeah. So why would we not, right, put these things together? They're the antithesis of
and I think of that ama, and I think of Desikachar calls it rubbish.
Yeah.
Burning off rubbish.
Yeah.
As a byproduct of a yoga practice.
Right.
And a study.
Right.
And then samskaras.
That's right. And vasanas, right? Those
Yeah.
deeper level of samskaras,
Yeah.
which are the kind of intergenerate. You can think of these as like intergenerational stuff, the stuff that gets passed.
Yeah.
Culturally and really personally, family wise, all those things, those deep things, the programming.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the Maya. All right.
Yes, the whole illusion. Well, I've been taking some deep dives in some of these same little realms, and not doing the depth of program creation you're doing, which is amazing. And say a little bit about, gosh, time is going by fast. About what's shifted the last couple of years. I know you've done a whole slew of things online,
Yeah.
and then some pre-recorded and some live stream, and then maybe talk a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of wrap up a little bit about the satsang.
Okay.
And that's
I love that.
Let's go there.
I love that.
All right.
I love that. Yeah. So like everyone else, right, we had to make this big shift.
Yeah.
When this pandemic, right, hit in the midst of so many other pandemics that were already going on, right?
Right.
Oh my God. Right. So, had made this big shift. And so put most all of the Y12SR programming either live streamed or pre-recorded, right?
Yeah.
So did all this work to make that shift, to do that. And now, like you said before, we're just beginning to merge out of that. I'm very hopeful. I've done all the filming and all of that. Sometime in the fall, we look to launch a whole new platform for the way to do the Y12SR, to become a Y12SR space holder and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. The filming's already been done, and it's going to just roll out in a different way. And so I'm really, really, really grateful for that. Yeah. That was exhausting doing all that filming, but we got it all done.
Yeah.
Right. And so really looking forward to that. And then did this thing that I have absolutely loved, and just about to complete the first version of it. We call it the Addiction Recovery Wisdom School. And it's a deeper dive, right? I mean, a much deeper dive into really the heart of how it is that we walk and deepen our walk in the spiritual principles. It looks a lot, part of it, how we befriend our brain. So there's all this great work that I love by Jill Bolte Taylor.
Okay.
It's called Whole Brain Living. Right. And so it was integrating a lot of the stuff for whole brain living, and integrating Ayurveda, and integrating, of course, a deep dive into the Yoga Sutras and how they relate, and all of those kinds of things, and parts of the Upanishads. And so it's just a way, we do all this work in Y12SR. It's a way to more fully unpack all the things that are already in there, and just allow things. Dave, it's an ocean deep, right? It's like, I remember we would always tell the folks in the 200-hour training, right? Really, if you come out of here, out of the 200-hour training, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, this is so deep, then we know we did our job, right?
Yeah. Dipping the toe in the ocean.
It's a dip of your toe in the ocean, right? And it can unpack forever.
Yeah.
Right? I'm still blown away by what I know I don't know, right?
Oh, yeah. I there's so much out there, and I'm, I like Svadhyayas. I guess do a lot of self-study and do a lot of continuing to learn.
Yeah.
And, one book opens the door to 3 more, so I have to curb my desire to read it all.
I know.
And embody.
I know.
Take it in body. And,
Yep.
And,
Yep.
But it's just amazing to have watched, your platform grow, and the work you're doing in the world is super cool. And I think about the first little sprout was Cityoga.
Yeah,
really,
buddy.
And
Yep.
and now it's that legacy is living on, and we'll have to get you back in here
So
doing
grateful.
some program local.
Yeah.
So I was intrigued with the satsang. How long's that been going on, and what's up with that?
It started in, I want to say, like December or last fall.
Okay, 2021.
Right. 2021 was when it actually started. And Rolf came to me. I think Rolf and Girish had been doing some things together like that for a while, and for whatever reason, the platform didn't work. And Rolf came to me, right? Rolf is brother from another mother, right?
Rolf Gates, for those out there,
Yeah. And we've worked together. We did Yoga Meditation Addiction Recovery Conference, right? We were the founders of that whole thing, which has now been going on for 10 plus years. Yeah. Maybe even 12 plus. I don't even know. I can't keep up anymore. I can't keep up with it anymore. And so, Rolf came to me. He said, what would this be like if we offered this, and made it this 12-step inspired thing, and offered it as, from out of the Y12SR platform. And I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. And I speak about this as, it's just another one of those connective tools, right? That just serves as yet another link, another connection for healing, right? It's another tool in the toolbox for healing. And so every third Thursday of the month, which is coming up this next Thursday, right? So it'll be next week from when we're doing this right now. Yeah. And we do this hour-long thing. And it's Rolf and me, or I will do using introduction. And sometimes I'll do a little 10-minute, what we call in 12-step lead or Dharma talk or something like that. And if I don't do it, I invite someone else in to do that. And then Girish comes on and does magic, right? We chant, and all of us have some, Girish and Rolf and I have some tie into addiction healing, right? Into healing a personal connection, right, with lived experience relative to the disease of addiction. And so Girish brings in the chanting, and it just always amazes me how we don't talk to each other about what we're going to do, and it's just you know how it is.
In the flow.
Oh my goodness. And so Girish comes in and we chant. And then Rolf comes in and leads. Sometimes it's a little chair practice.
Okay.
But it always has within it a depth of meditation. It always has a depth of meditation. And it's just a beautiful thing, right? It's this hour-long thing that can be used. It's all donation based and the whole 9 yards. And it's just another little tool to support grounding, to support, community, to support each other as we walk this path of healing.
Yeah. Well, that is so.
It's
I'm good. I'll be there next Thursday for sure.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, that is, it's just such good work, and that's so exciting.